Okay, sawed off wads. I did not get the notification for this morning from the grade book on Patreon. So I looked to YouTube and I was like, man, it's been like 9 days. Is it almost done? And then I looked and I saw it and I was like, fuck. Because what I was gonna try to do was not look at YouTube until I record the video so you can get my reaction to what the thing is. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, well, I mean, I knew this was coming because he put a trailer on Patreon for it. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I know the thumbnail was like, I think it was Nuts 3. It looked like Nuts 3, I think. Which I've not played. I've only seen Decino play it, so I mean, I know enough about Nuts 3. Going through the usual preamble, I have Mount Payne's consent to make this video. If you've not seen the original, please turn this video off right now! Go watch the video on his channel, give him your first view, and then come back here and we can watch it together, like gentlemen and ladies. Let's begin. Yeah, there's Nuts 3.
Hello there, I'm Mount Payne 27, and this is Dean of Doom, the show where we give grades to classic and contemporary Doom wads. Why? Because ranking things is fun. Today we're going to do something a little different.
Yeah, this is the trailer. Oh, wait. Okay, wait, let me see what I can pick out here. So I see Nuts right here. I can't really read that far, and I don't really recognize a lot of things generally. What the fuck is that? Is that Ultimate Doom? Okay, obviously it's Ultimate Doom, but like, what though? TNT. I recognize none of this. Alright, let's see what we got. Sawed off wads.
I call it Sawed Off Wads, a Dean of Doom segment where we showcase wads that are too short to carry standalone episodes. Today I'll be checking out an all-star lineup of levels that span 23 years worth of Doom modding history. We'll begin with the oldest wad and work our way forward.
Alright.
But first, here's how the show works. Every map gets
I'm
one
so
grade for
excited.
quality and one for
I think I recognize that first one. Is that
Grades
Dystopia?
go from A to F. Grade A levels are
It looks
fun,
like Dystopia, I can't
memorable,
tell.
visually distinctive, creative, and a fair challenge. Difficulty grades go from X to E. X for extreme, E for easy, A through D in between. Keep in mind, I probably won't have the same.
I hope it's
ideas about
Dystopia,
what
so I
makes
can
a
at
great
least
level as you do,
recognize.
But that's okay.
This can be the first review, a reaction that I've like actually played the content for.
Disagreeing is part of the fun, after all. At the end of the day, this show is about spreading the joy of Doom. So let's do so. Before we start, the rules are we play on ultraviolence and must pistol start each level. I need to play the wad twice before reviewing it. Saves are allowed, and we go for 100% kills in all levels, making exceptions when it's just not worth it. I play on Z Doom with compatibility set to strict, but today we're going to mix in a lot of DSDA Doom. Now, to the wads.
Good port.
First up, from 1995, Doom City by Seamus Young.
Nope.
I've thrown around the term Doom Cute quite a bit this season without explaining what it is or where it came from.
Is that a 7-Eleven? What the fuck? Wait, when did this part come out?
First up, from 1995, Doom City.
Okay, this is before I
Seamus
existed.
Young. I've thrown around the term Doom Cute quite a bit this season without explaining what it is or where it came from, and since it's apropos to Doom City, I think it's time I do. A term coined by KMXXE, I hope that's how you say it, founder of the one-man Doom review blog, Doom Cute describes things and places in Doom maps that simulate real life. The cute part derives from the adorable simpleness of the results. Doom City is one of the earliest and most notable examples of Doom Cute design.
Vending machine?
Unlike Doom 2's downtown, suburbs, tenements, the factory, pretty much any map named after something that exists on planet Earth, Doom City actually resembles a real place. Of course, the custom textures and colorful signage, the ATMs, gas pumps, phone booth, vending machines, and 7-Eleven drink fridges must have been doubly delightful to players in the 90s and early aughts. I know when I was a kid I loved video games that allowed me to interact with stuff in the world. The more destructible or malleable the environment, the better. Doom City checks that box too. The Pepsi machine opens a soul sphere in the bank, you can hop over this counter for a rocket launcher, and you can lower the phone booth for a berserk pack.
As you do in real life.
Action is really not the focal point. In its day, it was a sandbox within which the imagination could frolic. In 2022, it's
the fucking drive-through. Oh man, yeah. This definitely, when you make something like this, you definitely don't combat's not the focus, right? You're making it to be like, look what I made, and oh my god, this was in 1995. Holy shit.
Curiosity, an antidote to the blocky bases and abstract hells of commercial Doom, and one of the canonical works of Doom Cute. Grade C+, difficulty B-. Next on the docket is Malcolm Saylor's Chord series, made between 1997 and 2000, starting with Chord 1. Malcolm Saylor belonged
If I say nope when he says something, it means I have not heard of it.
to a mapping team called the Black Star Coven, best known for their megawad at the Telosian Incident, and he also
have heard of
contributed to
that.
Gothic DM2 and Crucified Dreams. I personally only played his work in the Chord series, to which I was introduced by way of Doomworld's 100 Most Memorable Maps. If you're wondering where the title Chord comes from, I don't know, and apparently neither does Saylor. Anyway, Chord 1 establishes the series' main precepts early. Health and...
I mean, sometimes you name something, you pick a word, or like a word jumps in your mind, you pick it, it matches, you go.
Space are scarce, almost no fights or throwaways, and winning them will not compensate you generously. Saylor is not afraid to punish a player who makes wrong turns or misuses resources, though Chord 1 does offer a secret soul sphere to rebound from early mistakes. I've never said this of a 90s mapper before, but Malcolm Saylor places a great Baron of Hell. They make fights in tight spaces trickier than their brown cousins, and encourage the player to exploit infighting opportunities to save ammo. Chord 1 isn't visually strong, and some of its fights are insipid, but subsequent chords tighten things up.
Would you really say that Hell Knights are brown? They look more like, I guess, peach. Like they look like. yeah, they look peach. I guess I was trying to think of like what shade of color to call that, but yeah, it's basically they look peach.
Grade C+,
pinkish.
difficulty B+. Chord 2. After getting your bearings and collecting some weapons, you'll likely have an easier time with Chord 2.
Still before my birth.
Chord 1. This drafty brown castle is the most spacious map in the series, and it's much more cohesive in the art department, but my feelings about the action are mixed. I dig the yellow key fight, an incendiary combination of revenants, hit scanners, and a jump-scaring archvile afterwards, and it's nice to feel in control of the ending, which allows you to cheaply shotgun the last Archie and his posse, but the rest of the map is kind of dull and empty. The castle grounds contain only 2 Hell Knights, even though they're scaled for a slaughter, and Saylor's preoccupation with teleporting monsters doesn't make these encounters any more lethal, just longer. The final fight almost makes me take back what I said about Saylor's gifted Baron placement. Pop them each 5 times with the super shotty and wait for the elevator. Don't worry, no archviles pop out. Grade B-, difficulty B. Chord G.
That looked like it could have been like a prototype Memento Mori map almost.
Inspired by the infamous Express Elevator to Hell map from the Master levels, Chord G is the black sheep of its family. A cramped metal silo that shares Spheric Fernmo's love of claustrophobia, but spares you some of Teeth's tedium and circuitousness. More than half of Chord G's 70 enemies are chain gunners, and as per usual, health is not plentiful. The key is to not get pinched. Going for the blue key sandwiches you between Barons and Revenants, the blue switch trap pins you between an Archvile and some fellas in red, and Saylor places a Megasphere behind the red key, which yanks the rug from under you, beaming you back to the hub.
You know, that got me thinking for a second. You want to make a fight that's going to make you panic? Just make it a pincer. Almost no matter what combination you pick, if you make a fight a pincer, you're going to panic. Like, almost guaranteed.
Where Revenants lie in wait. Surgical shotgun work is required for this awful chain gunner ring descent, which warps 4 Barons into the elevator with you.
Getting,
whatever you think.
Getting, what's that level from Hell Revealed? The one with the big elevator, the secret map. That's what I'm getting vibes of from this one.
Tear you to shreds first, and pray you have the health left to deal with this no-good snake-in-the-grass, sideways teleporting archvile. Chord G is mean, to be sure.
It wasn't the path. I don't remember what it was called. It doesn't matter.
Grade B, difficulty B+. Chord G. G minor, more like. This map is well deserving of Sean's got the shotgun. It's a sinister crucible, packed to the gills with heavy hitters. Saylor makes you fight for your life from the outset, and if you're squeamish about hand-to-hand combat, you'll be gasping for shells. It's remarkable what Chord G does with minimal enemy variety. Cacos and Hell Nobles corral you, Revenants threaten heavy damage, Pain Elementals gulp down your ammo supply, and Archviles go for the jugular when their hands are free. That's it. No hit scanners this time. Don't waste a single rocket. They're critical for heading off the most serious threats. I got pretty lucky with these Barons and had just enough shells to keep these Hell Knights at bay. Between this and NG, it's a toss-up to me which is harder, but Chord G is much better looking, predictive of Alien Vendetta's careful lighting, and miles ahead of Doom 2 in terms of fleshing out its texture use. Impressive work.
Yeah.
Grade A-, difficulty.
It does look like it's trying to push you.
Finally, Chord 3. Not for the faint of heart. Chord 3 is easily the hardest map in the cycle. It's mordant, bleak, and unsettling. Right from the start, you've got a Baron and a line of chain gunners in your face, an Archvile monitoring the room over, 2 Revenants that converge when you grab the chain gun, and several more that appear when you teleport to the SSG. Sailor offers no easy answers here. There's not a lot of room to move, no obvious safe spaces to retreat to, and 0 time for dilly-dallying. If you commit to mini-gunning through the Ruby Cavern, you can go berserk on the Pinkies, Imps, and Revenants to save bullets for the Archvile and then clean up the chain gunners. Then comes this impressively nuanced fight. An Archvile and a herd of Cacos usher you into the Blue Key Room where a group of Imps and Revs stand guard. Sailor demands you juggle these threats, root for infighting, and thread the needle between fireballs, obstructive foes, and Archvile flames. It's not a huge fight, but it feels like one.
That's probably the best way to handle that, was the way that he did it, was to try to keep the Imps at bay by baiting them into attacking you while you hit the Imp, or sorry, the Archvile just head on in that little corner right there. Because I feel like if you try to just rush the Archvile, you're gonna get got by the Cacos.
Straddles the
That's the
line
end of my
between
thought.
brilliance and meanness, giving you a plasma gun, but interposing 3 Barons between you and escape from damaging floor.
Oh my god, a fight with a timer. Okay, I can get behind that.
Get loosed in the previous room where meat shields may or may not still be roaming around. After that, there's a knee-knocking cyber demon,
god.
which you better do perfectly because the finale takes no prisoners.
Oh my fucking god.
This hit scan squad can cut you down in seconds or leave you for dead as the Barons and Hell Knights roll.
That's venomous.
Chord 3 clearly made an impression on people. It was named the 3rd best WAD of Y2K and awarded the number 41 spot on Doom World's most memorable maps. Malcolm Saylor's deftly orchestrated fight design paved the way for Doom combat gurus like Ribix, Dana Babinga, Gusta, and Eric Alm. Grade A-, difficulty A. Moving on to the next selection from 2001, we have the one and only Nuts by BPRD.
It's gonna be nuts!
Nuts is so simple, famous, and self-evidently ridiculous you'd think a short and humorous review of it would write itself.
Shout out to Led Zeppelin, by the way.
But the more I think about it, the more bizarre the whole Nuts phenomenon becomes. For one thing, I find it odd that Nuts was such a huge hit despite being nearly unplayable on PCs at the time. It's also strange that it took 8 whole...
Well, the thing is, maybe he's gonna explain it, but that's part of the reason why, I think. By the way, I was like 3 years old when this came out. That's part of the reason why it was so significant, is the fact you couldn't play it. Because you fucking load into the map with a pistol, and you're in front of, like, I can't even count how many enemies. That alone is enough to make an impression, and that's all you really need.
Years for somebody to release a map with a supermassive demon army, and it's even more strange that BPRD, of all people, was the one to do it first. I wouldn't give a map like this a second thought if its creator did nothing else worthy of note, but this is BPRD we're talking about. Creator of Equinox, Grove, and the Mucus Flow. Mapping visionary and troll extraordinaire. So, I did some research.
That's no shit.
In the text file, BPRD writes, "This WAD is just some crap I threw together one night. Enjoy swimming through the 100,000 monsters I've laid out for you, winky face." It's actually 10,000, by the way. He misquoted his own monster count. Below this, he leaves a tongue-in-cheek story speckled with typos and nothing else.
Oh, I thought the story was awesome.
Just for fun. You are assigned to destroy the final Hellspawn army on Litrivian 4. The government sends you all around because you got...
I don't know why... Okay, hold on. Let me start this over. I gotta get the whole fucking thing. I was like... My mind was elsewhere. I don't know why. The way you read stuff sometimes is really fucking funny.
I'll read it just for fun. You are assigned to destroy the final Hellspawn army on Litrivian 4. The government sends you all alone because you got drunk at the general's birthday party last year and he never liked you since. Since this is the biggest Hellspawn army ever established...
The fucking editing, dude! The editing is killing me.
Since this is the biggest Hellspawn army ever established, the cheap-ass general sends you in with nothing but a pea shooter. Good luck. Through DoomWiki, I dug up an old GeoCities page where BPRD hosted all of his WADs. Below each download link, he leaves informal reviews of his own work, including an interesting retrospective on Nuts.wad. He describes being nervous about making a mistake uploading Equinox, a 13-map space opera that he spent a year making, to the id Games archive, and made Nuts on a lark so he'd have something to test the uploader with. Feeling like a mad professor, he threw absurd quantities of monsters into 2 square rooms, named it Nuts, quote, because that's exactly what it is, a nutty WAD, and uploaded it successfully. Nuts, though initially panned, ultimately outshined Equinox in the community's eyes, much to his chagrin. No one really cared for Equinox, only a few seemed to like it a lot. I know I did. It's a shame, and also damn ironic, that the WAD that was meant to just be a trial upload for my main WAD became much more popular than the main WAD itself. How crazy is that? He signs off with, play it and be disappointed.
You could say it's nuts.
Indeed, Nuts is pretty disappointing no matter how you slice it. Patience, infighting, and a modern non-Z-Doom derived source board are all you need to beat it. Though the copious carnage is hard not to cackle at, Nuts does look like one night's worth of work. What boggles the mind is just how many people that one night ended up affecting. There are too many variables at play for me to give this a real grade, so grade BPR difficulty B. Footnote, on July 28th, 2021, Zero Master released a video of a tool-assisted run of Nuts.
Dude, I loved watching this task. It was so awesome.
Demonstrating the theoretical possibility of gathering up enough Revenant missiles to kill the map's 850 cyber demons, thus enabling the player to get 100% kills. It's a crazy time for Doom. So, moving on to 2003, we have Void by Mike Saib Watson, a surreal spectacular built around the fanciest Z-Doom features of its time. Void is unlike anything I've covered on this show. It's got cutscenes, slopes, swinging doors, moving platforms, custom enemies, falling damage, a rudimentary inventory system, and a whole lot of jumping. Purist that I am, I still have free look turned off by default, but I use my right mouse button to look manually. After being transported to a weird chessboard dimension by a Hexen heresy...
What the fuck? Bro, this looks awesome! Hold on a minute. The fall damage is what spooked me, but then I saw the skybox, not because it's green, but wow, dude.
After being transported to a weird chessboard dimension by a Hexen heresy arc, you'll soon discover that your main objective is to find 3 skull keys and place them on this altar, which is much easier said than done. The path to each is rife with death. Void's protagonist is unusually sturdy. His punches do increased damage, and he can absorb 3 cyber demon rockets to the face apparently, but we're all slaves to gravity.
That is an interesting
will be your number one
falling
cause of
animation
death in this one, even if you're relatively comfortable with Doom platforming, which I am not. There's also a bevy of traps that can squash, singe, and surprise you en route to the blue key.
What? Oh, the Crusher.
Learning to chuckle at your blunders is a valuable skill in life and absolutely required when playing Void. Saib seems to prefer puzzles and obstacle courses to player v monster action. I wouldn't know what to call half of these enemies anyway, but Hexen fans should enjoy the replacements. The yellow key section is easily my favorite part of the map. You're too big to fit between these bars and too stupid to find a stick or something to reach the yellow key, so you pull an Alice in Wonderland. You shrink yourself, squeeze through a crack in the wall, and exterminate the spider family that lives in there to retrieve a gear that fixes the gate control mechanism. It's a brilliant sequence. Inventive, fantastical, and kinda creepy. With all 3 keys in place, you're given a bony BFG replacement that uses pinky souls for ammunition, and then you can teleport to this demonic game of checkers. Saib steals your weapons during Pinky Punch-Out, but gives them back to you for this room of Cacos and Barons, probably the most conventional fight in the map. Solve 2 simple puzzles, do battle with your unimpressive doppelganger, and return to the main area to find the exit open. Mind the gap.
Yeah, I was about to say. That's pretty fucking funny.
Descending this treacherous gorge pretty much mandates free look, so try not to get seasick. There's health and ammo at the bottom, and then it's final boss time. The Heresy arc seems to reflect your plasma bolts and summon monsters at will, but most of his attacks are easy to avoid, and the arena spawns health and shell pickups intermittently.
So
Fill in the
awesome.
flag for a few minutes, jump to safety, and Void is in the books. There's a lot to like about this map. It's quirky, eye-catching, and creative in its application of Z-Doom fanciness. Those who come in expecting classical Doom action might have their feathers ruffled, but then again, Void builds an entire premise on removing players from their comfort zones. Sure, the platforming is total BS, as are the pitfalls in the black and white world, but with the right outlook, you'll find that Void does a great job offsetting its hostility with humor. The derpy Cyber Demon rematch, goofy death screams, and abrupt demise of your buddy when you finish the obstacle course strike my funny bone. Void is an enjoyable oddity worth experience.
It's
grade A-.
Doom's a hard game to make meaningful cutscenes in. It's not meant for that. But that's the end of my thought. I don't know where I was going with that.
Difficulty A+. Next up, also from 2003, we have Nuts 3 by BPRD.
I thought I saw Nuts 3.
2, you ask?
Once upon a nut. Once upon a nut. Well, there's only one thing I can really say to that, right?
Nut.
To quote BPRD, it's basically the same crap. More overtly jokey than the original, Nuts 2 has
Oh,
a
this-
few quirks that are worth
this is Nuts 2.
for yourself.
Why did I say Nuts 3? What the fuck's wrong with me?
Crap. More BPRD. Why skip Nuts 2, you ask? Well, to quote BPRD, it's basically the same crap.
Oh.
More overtly
That's why
than the original, Nuts 2 has a few quirks that are worth discovering for yourself, but I'd rather not take time away from the series' crown jewel.
Okay. Oops. Wait. Minor interruption aside.
A few quirks that are worth discovering for yourself, but I'd rather not take time away from the series' crown jewel.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I saw Nuts 3, or this is called Nuts 3, but it didn't look like what I played. What the fuck? Okay.
Nuts 3 starts you off.
That scared the fuck out of me. God damn it. Oh, God. I knew you were gonna say something. I don't know why it scared me, but...
Nuts 3 starts you off in the center of a monster ocean, gentle music playing in the background, and a majestic monolith looming in the distance, framed by a brilliant light in the sky, like a star in supernova. Below you'll find cell packs and a very unconventional BFG. It behaves the same way as the regular Weapon 7, but its projectiles are invisible. I'm not sure what BPRD was going for here. It's hard to use unless you're spamming it at groups of enemies.
Yeah, I don't
After
understand.
you punched your way through the horde, the chain gunners on the perimeter can quickly mow you down.
I guess it's supposed to be like a radio or something? I don't know.
Find cover
It looks
or keep
like...
your
I don't know.
distance. If you're in a pinch, find this star-shaped light patch and you'll be whisked away to a recovery room. Rest your weary FPS. Make sure to grab that invul because the return teleporter sends you right back to the start.
God.
Once the madding crowd is thinned, you'll notice that BPRD's monster placement was slipshod to say the least. Big clumps of spiders...
Was what?
Notice that BPRD's monster placement was slipshod to say the least.
Where's my phone? I don't think that's a word. I think you sneezed, and that's the word that happened. Hold on. Slipshod. Typically of a person or method of work, characterized by a lack of care, thought, or organization. I almost spelled it wrong. I've never heard that word in my life. Interesting.
Big clumps of spiders, revenants, hell knights, mancubi, and pinkies are stuck together, and I usually let flocks of revenant missiles plow them into oblivion to save ammo. Once the groundlings are all dead, it's time to inspect the Star Temple, which, for me, is where Nuts 3 takes a turn for the spiritual. I promise to go into more detail one day, but for now, let it suffice to say there's something uplifting and deeply human detail one day, but for now, let it suffice to say there's something...
Come on. Lost Civilization... I'm assuming that's, yeah, Speed of Doom from Season 2, yeah. Nova 3. Hellbound. Struggling, Nuts 3. Shout out to Empty Slot. Really the best one on the list right there, Empty Slot.
Uplifting and deeply human about BPRD's love of the stars. And my god, this music. No other MIDI artist can puppeteer my emotions like this. When the right mood moves in, this track really chokes me up. It's like the soundtrack to a last stand. A fateful goodbye. One final kiss before liftoff.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I was, the first time I heard about the Mucus Flow and I listened to the song, I was just like, what the fuck is this? It's awesome.
The map's latter half is not my favorite. First, you've got an archvile infestation to uproot, then, to reach the temple's top floor, you'll have to knock a bunch of cybernauts off their spaceships. Unfortunately for me, you can get 100% kills in this map, so I then had to hop into the launch pad pit to bump off the remaining enemies. Any suffering I experienced here, I brought wholeheartedly upon myself. On his website, BPRD confesses that he only played this map with monsters enabled once, saying, "The level is goddamn near impossible. I'm sorry for all that. It was never tested out. I never really made it with any monsters in mind. I concentrated on how it looks and sounds." Ah well. Nuts 3 is no jerkwad. If anything, it bridges the gap in the BPRD verse between Equinox, the Mucus Flow, and the next map we'll be covering today. Okay. Nuts 3 is a disarming and potentially transformative experience. Grade A-, difficulty A+.
You know, when I remember watching the Mach 2 video, and I remember when Boring Doom was brought up, and I'm noticing that BPRD, whether intentional or not, seems to do a lot of like social commentary stuff, like Boring Doom being the concept of just the same maps over and over again, just with different textures, different enemy configurations. It's the same thing. And then Nuts being possibly a concept of like, you know, like maps are getting crazier and crazier, how long before it's literally just this? You know? That seems to be really what he excels at, and, especially with, like... With, like, this. Like, he focused on it, like, looking good. I don't know, this doesn't relate to the social commentary thing, that was just what I was noticing, but, like, he... BPRD is a genius at his work. What's next? That's like a Slayer album. Grove.
From 2004.
Scared the fuck out of me again. I don't know why that keeps frightening me, but it does. So, whenever a map is shown, and you just hear the music, and there's no commentary, you know it's good. You know it's
2004, Grove by BPRD. Only BPRD could give one of the most beautiful Doom maps of all time a backstory that starts with the sentence, "In your garden, you can sometimes see an angry-looking fat dude steal your mushrooms."
Mario?
Avoiding spoiler-related material will greatly limit what I can talk about with Grove, so if you haven't played this map or watched a playthrough of it, I beg you, skip to the timestamp pictured. Hearing me gab about Grove is no replacement for experiencing it yourself.
Oh, fuck. Do I skip? Or do I just go? Fuck, I have no idea. I'm just gonna go, I think. I'm just gonna go.
Okay, now that everybody here is on the same page, I think it's fair to assume that the first time you tried to play Grove sucked, both for technical and BPRD-related reasons. It must have taken me 10 minutes to figure out how to open Smuggler's Generator, scarfing down...
That being said, actually, if you're watching this, please feel free to tell me if there's anything like that, if you think I should skip it or just play. I'm indifferent either way, but I would like people to give me their thoughts.
Mushrooms, squinting at my screen and humping everything in the house. Then, as soon as I walked into the...
Why? Why did that have to be what this action is referred to as? Fucking almost 30 years ago. Why does it have to be called humping?
Scarfing down mushrooms, squinting at my screen, and humping everything in the house. Then, as soon as I walked into the forest, my 9-year-old laptop almost caught on fire trying to draw all these trees in Z-Doom, making the rest of the level functionally unplayable. Even today, as much as I dislike OpenGL lighting, it's the only way I can record smoothly, and it does help me see in the dark.
Whoa! Let me see the map.
As I dislike OpenGL lighting, it's the only way I can record smooth.
Boomstick. I can't read cursive, dude. I'm a child. Fascinating.
And it does help me see in the dark a bit better. I sacrifice aesthetics for utility begrudgingly. Anyway, the first thing I adored about Grove was its automap, a whimsical hand-drawn sketch of the forest that is both handy and painfully limited. Those exclamation mark surprises and labeled locations are lifesavers for incompetents like myself, but other than that, BPRD doesn't hold your hand at all. You'll want to start off by getting your boomstick, which is stuck in the well. Grove logic dictates that you need to find a pump and raise the water level to reach it. Notice the 3 hands sitting by the valve, upon which you'll place 3 skull keys and open the exit. With the super shotgun in hand, you can start exploring properly. The main points of interest, in addition to Smuggler's House, are the Stone Circle, the Dark Cave, and Grove Central, which houses switches that unlock stuff around the map. Problem is, something wicked lies in wait for you that way.
Uh-oh. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this Archvile encounter's mean. Whether or not you take a hit is a roll of the dice, but luckily Archie can't follow you into Grove Central, which has plenty of cover and shotgun shells scattered around. In the control room, you'll find switches that unlock the cave, open Smuggler's safe, and... you? Wonder what that does.
I was just thinking that. Let me see.
2 of the keys are now accessible, but you should...
Is that just the end of that? I guess it's just if you're I don't know, if you're having a bad run and you're just like, yeah, we're done here, boys. Let's start it over.
2 of the keys are now accessible, but you should snoop around a bit before moving on. Try to poke around in the trees a bit. See if you can get to those items alight in the thicket. Maybe you've already found this shed through the cracks in which you can spy a set of glinting goggles. If you are supernaturally astute, you may have noticed a valve hidden in the trees behind Grove Central which unlocks that shed. I belatedly discovered that the light amp visor is essential for uncovering the secret of the dark cave. Unwary adventurers can fall prey to the Hell Knight that lives in there, or at very least scrabble around on their hands and knees for hours, trying to open this marked cave wall. The graveyard beyond is home to wandering spirits and the red key, as well as a switch that opens the way to the Mushroom King, which is just about the most fun thing I've seen in Doom. What the heck is up with the sky, though? If you backtrack to Smuggler's house now, you'll find the fun thing I've seen in Doom. What the heck is up with the sky?
Nothing? Maybe I'm not seeing what you're pointing out there.
If you backtrack to Smuggler's house now, you'll find the pudgy mushroom thief out and about. Beware Smuggler. He's essentially a spider mastermind in a chain gunner costume. I like to duck in the outhouse and chop him down one blast at a time. Remember how you unlocked Smuggler's safe? How's this for eerie? The yellow key is an Archvile's skull.
Oh, that's
clever. The last spot
clever.
to hit is the stone circle, which you'll need to wander around the eastern bit of woods to find. What a shock this was to stumble into my first time. The green marble switch unlocks the ruins where 3 revenants will die to protect their cranium collection. At this point, you can leave the map provided you have enough ammo to deal with 10 barons.
Green key!
If not, BPRD
Wait, you can
leave the map provided you have enough ammo to deal with 10 barons and hell knights. If not, BPRD has you covered, but only if you find all of Grove's optional nooks. These pegs in Grove Central will tell you how many more you have left. I have no words to describe what happens next.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Fascinating.
BPRD strikes me as a non-musician, but his wandering, ocarina-led lullaby is such an affectionate blend of melancholy, worry, and wonder that he must be composing straight from the heart. Grove is BPRD's most winsome creation. It's stubbornly inaccessible and easily misunderstood as such, but absolutely worth the time needed to unpack it.
There's the star filler.
Doom wasn't made with this in mind, but BPRD has proven time and again that this game can be an expression of one's soul if you dream bravely enough. BPRD said of his creation, "I don't think you'd understand how much I love this piece of work, but I believe I do. Grade A+. Difficulty X- for first-timers, C for returning player."
Yeah, holy fuck, man. Jesus Christ. This is kind of what it's about, man. This is... Whenever you're looking for a game to play, a mod for a game, whatever you're looking to play, yeah, it might suck, or like, let's look at Ultimate Doom, right? Okay? Sure, the game might be easy now that we've played it for fucking ever. Or it might be boring or something, or whatever, but, like, it's all about that first impression, right? It's all about how things are on your very first run-through of everything, your very first experience. That's what everything, I think, should be made with in mind. How does the first experience feel? And sure, in this case, Grove looks... It could look annoying to play if you're somebody who just wants combat, if you're somebody who just wants, like... if you just want a Sunlust, or you just want, you know, I don't know, man, a Plutonia. If you just want one of those, it probably isn't... You'd probably have a really sour taste in your mouth whenever you play Grove. But if you're looking for something to get lost in, if you're looking for something to mystify you, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. That first experience, man. It's all made by that first experience. That's what changes everything for everybody. Always, all the time.
Up next, we have not BPRD, but one of the most prominent projects to be directly inspired by his work from 2008, Disturbia by Death Destiny. Another mysterious figure in the Doom community, Death Destiny made maps for just over a year.
What did that say?
Destiny. Another mysterious figure in the Doom community.
Infinite Demon Teleport Sequence initiated.
Death Destiny made maps for just over a year before disappearing for good in 2009. Next to No Chance, Disturbia remains his most well-known work, made to, quote, sate his creative urge.
Did you say No Chance? Did you say No Chance? Can we get a look at that No Chance?
The first thing you'll notice after booting up this map, apart from the immediate abundance of pain elementals, is that your bullet capacity is doubled, and the chain gun has been significantly worked over. It's darker, bulkier, and has a much faster rate of fire. Death Destiny also gave it a sound replacement, which is weak, to say the least.
Let's hear it. I mean, there could be worse.
On my third Disturbia playthrough, I swapped it out for Equinox's pistol sound because a powerful gun ought to sound powerful.
That is better, I will
I also
say.
thought it'd be funny to help Death Destiny steal one more thing from BPRD. Disturbia employs multiple tropes beyond aesthetic tips of its cap that will be immediately familiar to the average mucus flow enjoyer. Health and ammo are stowed in depots and limited severely. The rocket launcher, plasma, and BFG require keys to unlock. Many of the turret enemies will respawn ad infinitum, and finding secrets is absolutely necessary. The automap is right here. Use it well. Unlike the mucus flow, Disturbia is hyperlinear and accommodates zero ad-libs or deviations in the route Death Destiny expects you to follow. It also contains no shotguns and no shotgunners, which is why I discussed the chain gun and the way it sounds at length. You're going to be spending a lot of time with it. Disturbia demands laser-like focus, for me about 2 hours of it. That's the difference between BPRD and Death Destiny. While the former's work seems to be challenging, mostly due to his que sera sera attitude towards testing
His what now? I don't speak French, man!
Death Destiny knows exactly what he's putting you through. Devastating traps abound between the tense retreats and slow
I don't actually know if that's French, I was just being a dickhead.
crawls forward. Heaps of hit scanners, nested arachnotrons, and wandering pain elementals at first, and then it gets worse. There was just one archvile in the mucus flow, and he faced you all by himself. In Disturbia, there are 151, and you'll know you're getting close
Oh, just like the Pokemon! Oh, hell yeah!
to the end when flames and pairs of pale, upraised hands are all you can see. Disturbia is one of the most...
Yeah, no, that's why I think Archviles are so fucking awesome, dude, is because the first time you see one, you're gonna panic. I think they could have implemented his first appearance better in Circle of Death, but, I mean, the first time you see one and he attacks you, and you just see his hands go in the air, fire, rise up in front of you, and then the fucking clap, and you just fucking go up in the air. It's awesome, dude. It's so good.
Producing maps of all time. Lee Jackson's Mist Ache sets the stage with an undercurrent of queasiness. Low ammo and the deactivation of your 3 key are a constant source of discomfort, and the pin drop ambushes will make a nervous wreck of you. Death Destiny also has an evil sense of humor. Take, for instance, the computer panel at the start, which reads, "Infinite Demon Teleport Sequence Initiated," and this shocking secret encounter.
Prepare to get killed. Okay. Ah! Wait. Never mind, you can face those demons later. I'll let you live a while longer. Take this instead. You fucking bitch. You fucking asshole!
But if we're talking heart-stopping moments, nothing beats the one in the final control.
The land is in slumber. The land is disturbed. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. The lights go out, but what happens next? The timing on that, dude!
After that, all bets are off. Death Destiny unleashes a pack of archviles into the commons and unbarricades the fleshy cyber-demon-guarded maw you saw at the start.
Oh, just going right in, huh? Shit,
Find
okay.
this very hidden switch, take the teleporter, sprint through the halls, and throw this switch to deactivate the turret teleporters. A lag spike means mission accomplished. Also, don't forget to
Oh my God!
the frag sequence. Take it from me, it saves a huge waste of ammo. After that, it's finally time to delve the corrupted heart of the land. Make no mistake, this part is for Doom Gods only, and a Doom God I am not. It's nothing but cyber demons and archviles down here, and I can't imagine how stressful it would be to deal with this during a saveless run. UV Max record holder and Caligon takes a full 34 minutes to get here.
Yo, shout out to
Disturbia
Ankalagon, good
is
dude.
Methodical, asphyxiating, brutal, and insane. I acknowledge Death Destiny as a mapping auteur, but he transmutes the mucus flow's beguiling beauty into poison, and that's why I'll never like Disturbia quite as much. Grade A, difficulty X.
That was awesome.
Skipping ahead to the year 2012, we have Frozen Time by Eternal. To date, Frozen Time is the Russian master's last high-profile Doom project, having spent most of the past decade submitting single maps to larger projects like Mayhem 2048 and TNT Revolution. Frozen Time is, first and foremost, a technical exposition. It showcases oodles of custom graphics, room over...
Alright, let's talk for 1 second about this skybox. Can you turn right, please?
Projects like Mayhem 2048 and TNT
Hang on.
Revolution. Frozen...
So, when I played Doom a lot in my teenage years, I used to play on Xandronum, and I used to play this server for a mod called All Out War. It was basically just a more or less carbon copy of the multiplayer from Command and Conquer Renegade. And one of the maps, this is completely tangential to what I'm saying. One of the maps had a skybox. No, it was just a blue sky, basically like this, minus the mountains. But it was on a snowfield map. And I think that map is the reason why I like skyboxes like this. Mountains and a fucking clear blue sky. The skybox is awesome. Make more skyboxes like this, please. These are amazing, amazing skyboxes. You literally can't mess them up.
Time is first and foremost a technical exposition. It showcases oodles of custom graphics, room over room and 3D bridges, large-scale architecture, and as is Eternal's
Song's awesome.
Sound replacements galore.
That's from Doom 3.
In keeping with the Cold Frontier theme, the status bar relabels ammo types strangely and exchanges armor for hide.
Small, large rifle
game
shot.
around these parts is green and blue pelts. Imps and Mancubi are now frostbitten, the Cacos got gangrene, Barons have turned into snow misers, and I call these critters flurries. As somebody who
Flurries,
enjoys
God damn it.
weather seasons, I love winter-themed video game levels, so I'm predisposed to appreciate Frozen Time.
Dude, I love snow levels,
The
yeah.
gameplay isn't really my jam. This map is dramatic.
Final Fantasy VII, fantastic snow passage. Absolutely memorable.
Directly open, leaving you vulnerable to sniper fire, errant projectiles, and wandering monsters. Eternal relies on chain gunners, leaky teleport ambushes, and leaky chain gunner teleport ambush is a bit overmuch, and even his large-scale fights don't satisfy like they should. On the plus side, Frozen Time's optional content is one of its strengths. Eternal is uniquely gifted at hiding secrets that will be intuitive to the veteran Doom player. Once you've found the blue and yellow keys, you'll be able to leave the fort, battle through a peculiar mountain base, and do battle with a pair of cyber demons around a big clock. After 2 exits, I've determined that I don't like Frozen Time as much as I thought I would. The aesthetics are smashing, and Eternal demonstrates great technical control, but I think I prefer his work on a smaller scale. It also says a whole lot that Hellground is...
It can be daunting whenever you want to play a map, and it's gigantic. It can be extremely off-putting.
It's older, but looks and plays a whole lot better for my money. Grade A-, difficulty B+. Next, we'll be covering 2 Doom 1 maps from 2016,
What do we got?
made by John Romero, who
Oh,
created
these!
a
Okay.
level design warm-up for his still unreleased FPS called Black Room. Both maps serve as replacements for knee-deep in the dead levels that Romero didn't create by himself. The first one is E1M4B, Phobos Mission Control. It's funny, so many of the Doom 1 mods I've played, the classic episode, Fava Beans, No Sleep for the Dead, and even No End in Sight, draw directly from Romero for inspiration. So it's uncanny to see
Did I see this
Romero
one? I don't
both
think I saw this
imitate
one.
himself and deviate from the E1 standards he minted. The 2 predominant themes here are Slime Base and Computer Lab. The latter is a veritable Rubik's Cube of secret elevators, raising and lowering bridges, and hidden passages containing goodies and a few harmless enemies. I like Romero's experiments, this cool poison drainage apparatus, these deep crevasses which spell death if you fall in, and the numbers on the floor
Is that how you say that
enumerate the
word?
map's order of operations.
Is
To
it
me,
crevasse,
Doom
or did you just throw a
1's
flare
combat
on that?
is generally less interesting than Doom 2's, but Romero finds ways to spice things up, especially in this shotgunner-laden final ambush that dealt me a death. Woof. Other than that, Phobos Mission Control isn't too exciting except as a secret hunt. Grade C+,
That's strong.
difficulty D. E1M8B, Tech Gone Bad. A fallen compound entrenched in a sea of toxic waste, Tech Gone Bad is a thorough reimagining of Sandy Peterson's E1 boss.
Cough like the penguin
It
from Toy
contains
Story.
almost as many monsters as E1M6.
Okay, I think this is the one that I saw
including a
while ago.
staggering 100 shotgun guys. Surviving the first minute is one of the map's biggest challenges. You'll need to minimize damage from the evil seeping out of the floor, fend off hit scanners, and ration shotgun shells so you get a handhold. When things settle down, I still have more trouble with this map than E1M4B, and there's no way players from 93 could have weathered this stuff comfortably. Tech
No
Gone
way.
Bad completes Romero's secret hiding arc much better than Phobos Anomaly, stowing power-ups and recovery items down in the nukage, behind off-color walls, behind barrels, and places you'd never look without the automap's help. Stylistically, Tech Gone Bad's hellish subversions are on par with Sandy Peterson's best. The unnaturally twisted computer maze, half-submerged rubble, and hellish cracks tell the story of demonic invasion better than retail Doom ever could. The Bruiser Brothers Redux is dressed to kill, but disappointingly tame, with even less fodder accompanying the Barons than in the original. That's okay. Tech Gone Bad is otherwise inspired work for a guy coming
Oh,
off
damn.
a 20-year retirement from Doom mapping. It's no surprise that he managed to follow this up with Sigil, which is still probably the most fun I've had.
It almost feels like a prequel to Sigil.
1. For this map, John received the first ever physical incarnation of the Cackle.
Oh, hell yeah!
Plus, difficulty B.
So, yeah, I was just thinking, no matter how you try, I never really played, Doom 1 in name only. Or, Doom the way it did. I don't know if there's a Doom 1 in name only. I think it might just be a Doom 2. Either way, I've never played anything that tries to emulate the Doom 1 style. And been able to do it successfully. It always feels like... It feels like a custom map. It never actually feels like something from Ultimate Doom. And never does. Even John Romero. Playing Sigil, it just felt like someone's custom map and didn't feel like it didn't feel like it was supposed to. It did not hit the way it was supposed to, in my opinion. Now, I've never played Sigil. I did like a casual speedrun of Sigil, having never played it. It was like a blind race between me and some friends. I never, like... It didn't feel like it was anything official. It was fun. It was good. It was really good, but it didn't feel like it was, like, supposed to be an official continuation of anything, you know?
A-. Moving on to 2017, we have Water Spirit, a 3-map experience by Manbu, formerly known as Barabo Jr., whom you might remember from the Japanese community project.
Hell yeah.
Map 1, Aquarius. The immediately eye-catching Aquarius sees Manbu channeling his inner Rivix a bit, at least on the surface. He paints in slabs of stony hues and accents his world with shades of a single color. The night sky, torches, waterfalls, laser beams, and abstract sprays of pulsing blue are delightfully coordinated. Aquarius is short but fierce. I would recommend against going through the blue-trimmed door before acquiring the plasma rifle or secret BFG because 3 archfiles lie behind it. When you catapult to the key, get ready for heavy resistance. Manbu inundates the map with revenants, hell knights, archies, and a cyber demon. The blue switch opens the exit, releasing a pair of barons and 3 gaunt musketeers who can wreak havoc if you allow them to gallivant around. Aquarius is expert work, and a hearty step up in difficulty from what you'd be expecting coming straight from Manbu's JPCP work. Grade A-, difficulty A-. Map 2, The Shrine of Water Spirit Part 1. It's a shame I have to play this with OpenGL settings, but this map is just outside my computer's ability to play and record simultaneously in software mode. The Shrine of Water Spirit is a gargantuan stone structure draped in shadow and earthy tones, which balance out the bursts of fire blue and neon green. Don't fret the massive monster count. 3/4 of this map's 800 foes are all part of the same fight. This map does not beat around the bush. Duck the first cyber demon, gather some guns, scale the cliff side, taking out zombie mobs, archviles, and arachno gunners on the way, and get the big friendly gun. After that, another
big friendly gun
will open up, allowing you to lower the blue key and confront the last 2 fights. The terrific Imp and Pinky Mega Tsunami, which will leave you feeling like Noah if he had a BFG to guard his arc with, and the wall of Kakos and archviles blocking the exit. If you burned all your cells in the previous fight, then I hope you're wearing sunscreen with a high SPF. I loved Manbu's JPCP
SPF 7 million.
But this is something else. He holds nothing back here, and the results are exhilarating. I do have to ask though, what's with this conveyor belt chain gunner? The first time I saw him, I was like,
there he goes!
Grade
Look
A.
at him go!
What's
Oh,
with
did he
this
say
conveyor
Nandeyanen?
belt chain gunner? The first time I saw him, I was like, Nandeyanen? Grade A, difficulty A. Map 3, The Shrine of Water
Slow music!
Spirit Part 2. This really is BPRD's episode, isn't it? Shrine of Water Spirit's second half comes tantalizingly close to immortality. Once again, Manbu slackens jaws with his macro architecture, but he doesn't quite outdo Part 1 in terms of combat. The blue and yellow key paths lead to a plasma rifle and rocket launcher respectively, and you'll have to quiet torrential downpours of foes to walk away with both. Stay on your toes, focus on the archfiles, and enjoy the adrenaline rush. I especially love the hit scanner flood masterminded by a mastermind with both keys in hand. There's just one more obstacle to overcome.
Okay, wait, now that I know what's going on, I gotta hear that again.
Miles and enjoy the adrenaline rush. I especially love the hit scanner flood masterminded by a mastermind. With both keys in hand, there's just one more obstacle to overcome. A babbling brook of pinkies led by too many archfiles to count. Seize the BFG and say a prayer. This fight worked me over good.
Oh,
the
God.
last pinky has been made into bacon. Ascend the final staircase and ride
Fuck,
the
now I'm
blue
hungry.
lift
God
down.
damn it.
Water Spirit is a knockout mini-wad with exciting combat and sights to die for. Manbu takes inspiration from some of the community's best, and he's a bold one to borrow this MIDI for his closer, but to his credit, it works. If you're a fan of JPCP or Slaughter Light in general, Water Spirit should float to the top of your must-play
Oh my
list.
God.
Grade A, difficulty A.
Also, I don't want to be that guy. Assuming, because he made stuff for JPCP, I'm assuming they're Japanese. I think it would be pronounced Manbo. That's usually how that is. I don't know. I'm
A-.
I'm just being an asshole.
And now, our final wad of the day, another pick from 2017, The Given by Dobugabu Maru.
Are they giving it to you? You awake? Hold on. Hark! You awake in the land of Ocula. Oculus Rift. Echoes stir within you as if you have been here before. The vast tower in the center calls to you.
With hushed tones do the land dwellers speak of the subterranean kingdom of Ocula, home of the unseen god. Legends tell of its lurid foods, crystal-top hills, and rivers of verdant water. But these tall tales also mention how the land is cursed, subject to a strange phenomenon where residents suddenly
This map
vanish.
is
The denizens
fucking massive. It looks like a giant ice cream sandwich. You see, let's break this down here. So see, it's like you got like the one piece, right? Then up here you got the other piece. Then you got like the ice cream, okay? And then I was thinking like an Oreo, kinda. Anyway, that's the end of that bit.
Zavacula have sought tirelessly to appease the capricious unseen god. The most well-known of their superstitious rituals, and the one that gives the land dwellers pause when speaking of Ocula, is the sad and brutal rite, only known as the Given. So begins Dobugabumaru's monsterless magnum opus, a sprawling, lore-filled adventure map featuring gameplay entirely devoted to puzzle solving. No weapons, no monsters, no health, items, or armor. It's just you, the map, and Eris Falling's MIDI, a waltz of Celtic fantasy that manages not to grate even after dozens of loops. Now, puzzles in Doom aren't exactly my specialty, as many of you already know, but The Given is no ordinary puzzle map. There are no fake walls, hidden buttons, shootable switches, or protracted bouts of wall humping. As Dobugabumaru assures you in the text file, you shouldn't need to guess the solution to any one of his riddles. Each of the Given's 7 challenges abides by a self-contained, airtight logic, and the map is full of non-verbal hints for, and even outright solutions to, some of them. I was able to solve 5 out of the 7 myself, one of them with a pen and paper because my memory is not full.
The Given. You know, I'm probably... This looks like old school video game cheat codes. I'd have to see the puzzle. I don't know why I'm trying to solve it.
The graphic. I had to look up the solutions for the Skull Islands and the stair-building gravestones. The only segment that actually irritates me is the platforming puzzle, but only because I'm bad at it and my sluggish frame rate didn't help things.
Even in Ye OpenGL, the full version of the Given doth chug. Oh my god. I know you wrote that like it was Old English, but I need to remember the phrase like noun or verb or whatever. Doth chug. That's fucking hilarious. And I'm normally one that like says stuff like that. That's funny as fuck.
Speaking of frame rate.
Oh, what I was gonna say before I got distracted by doth chug. Yeah, Doom's not made for platforming, so it makes perfect sense. Although, you know what I would like to see you play someday, Payne, would be Jump Maze, which was made, I don't know if you know about it. It was in, it was something that was made back when, like, Xandronum was, like, actually was fucking popular. Back when multiplayer was, like, played by more than, like, 15 people a day. And it's exactly like it sounds. It's just, you're in a level, usually with no monsters, sometimes there's a couple. And you gotta jump. You gotta jump around and you gotta, like, solve puzzles that way using jumps. And it's so awesome. It was so good. It was so good.
It seems DGM wasn't content to just wow us with his Game Master's acumen, he also had to humble us with Ocula's extravagant scale and microscopic detailing. This land is home to treasure troves of tidbits to marvel at between head-scratchers. The Given is a colossal mapping achievement and an enduring testament to Dobugabumaru's versatility.
So, I feel like if you're going to play this, you would want to play it without the status bar so you can get even more immersed. Because I don't know what the status bar is supposed to be. I think it's just a decoration, but like...
Grade A. And I can't give this map a traditional difficulty grade, but I wager it'll take you longer to finish than the average Sunday crossword. So, that was sawed-off wads.
Well, crosswords suck anyway, Sudoku's where it's at.
A weighted answer to, hey, Mount Payne, do you plan on covering shorter wads in the future?
I was gonna mention this. Yeah, I've seen 800 million people ask that.
This episode was a blast to put together. If I had known how much fun it would be to bounce between different styles of Doom in the space of a single episode, I would have done it a lot sooner. At this point, I don't know if I'm going to turn this into a spin-off series or keep integrating it into the regular show right now, but I like the idea of future installments revolving around themes, and I'm also strongly considering a viewer submissions episode, so keep an ear to the ground. There's no Dean's List today, but
Hey! It's you! It's you! God, viewer submissions. I suck at making maps. I can't submit anything. I'll react to it, though.
We'll include an honor roll because the following maps deserve special recognition. Chord G by Malcolm Saylor, Chord 3 by Malcolm Saylor, Void by Mike Sive Watson, Nuts 3 by BPRD, Grove by BPRD, Disturbia by Death Destiny, Frozen Time by Eternal, Aquarius by Manbu, Shrine of Water Spirit Parts 1 and 2 by Manbu, and The Given by Dobugabumaru. Thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to share your thoughts on the wads down below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll heart your comments to let you know I've read them. Now, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge my generous patrons.
Alright, let me see. Let me see really quick. Is there anything after... The patron list is getting hilariously long. It does not look that way. I'm going to be sure, though. Let me see.
I appreciate you all. This is Mount Pain 27, and I'll see you in the next episode of Dean of Doom.
Very good. So, if... this is episode 18. If this is following anything related to, Season 1, we might be coming up on the season finale, which was at season... I think it was at episode 20, with TNT, Was it the TNT? It was something. I think it was TNT Revolution. I don't remember. I think it was TNT Revolution. That was the season finale, and then that was graduation. And man, I woke up this morning and I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, the season 1 graduation video is like iconic at this point. At least for me, it is. It was so awesome. I can't wait for season 2. But man, what a great video to react to. You know what I'm waiting for. You know the real video I'm waiting for, buddy. You know what I'm waiting to see. That is going to be an amazing video to react to. But, yeah, for now, sawed off wads, dude. If you want my personal opinion, I almost kind of want to see it like a once a season kind of deal. That's what I think. But, I mean, you know, I'm definitely also not the average viewer. I'm not the average Doom player. I'm very weird. So, yeah, dude, that's awesome shit. Good shit. Time for me to crawl back into my hole and wait for episode 19.